everybody, welcome to a new mini-series with Heather and I called Deja Vu, where we take the same kit that we purchased at the Secrets Not So Secret Kit Club and make a couple of layouts out of it. So I noticed right away in my sneak peek that there was a rose stencil that was absolutely beautiful, and I thought, oh, I'm going to watercolor it using the Shimmers product, and I'm going to hand stitch it. Now off on the right hand side on the bottom, that's what it turned out to be. So it didn't even look like a rose anymore because of the Shimmers product being so liquidy. It did go underneath the stencil, which I should have known that. Anyway, so then I mixed up the modeling paste and thought I would do it that way. And when I mixed it up, I realized that the blue isn't the blue that matches in the kit. It's more of a cornflower blue, where all the products that are in the kit are navy blue. So I reached out to Heather and I said, hey, do you mind if I add a few things for my stash? And she said, no problem, I did the same thing. And funny enough is we both picked up the kind of the same color, which is a peachy pink that is in the kit to work on our first layout. So I had this photo of my 42nd birthday, which was just a couple weeks ago. And I was originally going to use a lot of the navy blue that was in the kit. And when I was putting everything together, I just felt like it was just making the whole layout really dark, and that is not what I wanted to do. So after speaking with Heather and being on the same page of adding a few things to our kit, I decided to use my shimmer products and create the stencil with the paste that I had, which is using that peachy pink, and which is like a coral almost, and this mint green. Now right away when I start using this text or this paste, I noticed it's a lot different than how I've used it in the past. As far as the feel of it, it was very sticky, kind of when it spread, it was really giving me a hard time. And I was like, okay, even when I kind of, use the little, and that's not a knife, but the little, I can't even think of it, but the little plastic piece basically to scoop it out, I noticed that the texture is very different. When I use the coral, now here's me actually showing you what I had to work with. Right away I was like, oh, something is happening here. This is almost like rubber. So I had a really hard time even getting the coral color onto the rose. So what it is basically, I didn't even know that there was an expiration date on Shimmer's product, but because it doesn't say so, but you definitely, if you're going to buy some paste, use it quickly. I've had mine for about 2 years and it turns to almost like a rubbery consistency, making it pretty much unusable for any type of stencil. So I had to trash that, but at least I got one stencil out of it for this layout. And then I decided, after going through my kit, there was this Maggie Holmes gather paper, and it had a bunch of frames, and that's when I got the idea of, you know what, I want to create a layout, and I've been wanting to do this for a while now, where it's kind of like what I'm doing currently, what I'm listening to, what I'm reading, what I'm watching, and I thought it was perfect for my 42nd birthday, and you're going to see that it's 42nd here in a minute. So I did try to use the stamp that came in the kit, but again, I ended up switching it because I wanted to make this layout about what I'm doing currently. So I picked out some thickers that would match with the rest of everything, the frames, grabbing that mint and that, I call it peachy pink, but it's a coral, and kind of sticking with that color theme. So after I cut them all out, I'm trying to decide on what type of thickers I want to use. Now, I go with the Dear Lizzy ones that you see right there. However, looking back on it, I wish I would have used the Maggie Holmes. I liked how I had the two a little bit darker, just kind of popped it a little bit. But instead I just keep it with the mint green, and that's okay too. I mean, it looks fine either way. Then I found this cupcake that was perfect because I am, the word that's going to go over that cupcake is loving, currently loving, and currently loving cupcakes, it's more like currently loving sweets in general. I'm such a sweet tooth person. So I'm getting everything situated on how I want to, where I want everything to go in each frame, and I'm going to make this switch right here, and I don't realize it right now until I'm completely done with this layout. It's all glued on, but you notice how the thickers, the picture, and the die cut are all on the left hand side. That means everything on the right hand side is going to be stamped and printed. So in the end, I am going to mix it back up. However, that 42 it definitely has to stay up there because I'm going to cut the edge of that off, which I'm kind of regretting now. Not that it's going to matter in a couple years. It's not like I'm going to look back on it going, oh yeah, I wish I would have never done that. It is what it is, and it ends up looking fine anyway. I'm deciding on what I want to go in each frame. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this series. So originally I had reached out to Heather and told her my idea, and she absolutely loved it, was on board with it, which I was so happy because I've been wanting to work with her. She is just a great person. I've been talking to her on Instagram quite a bit lately, and if you don't follow her on Instagram, you should, because she is hilarious. Her stories, oh my goodness, crack me up, totally make my day. She reminds me so much of, I don't know if anyone's watched The Office, but when they like do those expressions and they look at the camera, she does it all the time, and I just crack up. Anyways, so I was really ecstatic that she had said yes to do this, and we were kind of, you know, juggling ideas of like, okay, what collections are out that we both have, to maybe use some of that, and when, or use some of those, and when it just, nothing was matching up. She had mentioned that she had purchased a kit from the kit club. So, and then I reached out to Kristen, and I had also purchased a kit, and I needed it to be exactly the same. So even though we had to tweak our plans a little bit to adjust to fit this series, it is only going to be a mini series. We did get a smaller kit, I'm assuming. I think there's different ones, and the one kit that her and I ordered was a $25 kit plus shipping and handling. And if you haven't seen the kit share, Heather has it on her channel, which I strongly advise, so that way you can see everything that we got in the kit. It is absolutely stunning. It is gorgeous, and even though we kind of added a few things to go along with the kit, I still think we're creating what we were meant to do for this series. Even though this is going to be a mini series, which is just going to be 2 layouts for the series, we are definitely going to work together again on this. We're having a lot of fun, and I love working with her. So, okay, enough about that. Let's go back to the layout. So here I am just stamping all of those words onto the frame, and I wanted to keep the category at the top, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run each individual frame through my printer. And how I do that, so that way I can print on journaling cards or even in frames, I create a text box in Word, and then I type inside that text box, and then I print it on regular printer paper, and then I adhere whatever it is that I want printed on top of that, and then run it through my printer again. And it really makes it nice for all journaling cards. I have a typewriter, but it doesn't work. It was my father-in-law's, so this is the best way for me to get stuff printed on whatever it is I'm working on. Okay, so next what am I doing? I think I stamped everything. I think now I'm going to be working on my photo. Yes. Okay, so in my kit there was a large doily. Now it was too big of a scale for this layout, so what I did was just grab a smaller version, and then the bow that you see right there, that beautiful glitter, also came in my kit, and I'm going to layer that up on top of the doily. Then behind my photo, I did want to have another layer of pattern paper, and there's this one by Maggie Holmes in the Bloom kit, and it says Happy Moments, and I thought it couldn't be, I can't even talk, it couldn't even be more fitting for this layout, and it just says it over and over again, Happy Moments. Now this picture is of my girlfriend and her husband and her kids, and I did have to cover up for the privacy for her of where we were at, because it is located where she lives, and then of course of her kids as well. So just for the privacy. But I will tell you a little story about this. I met her through my husband. I think we were on our 3rd date, and my husband was like, hey, let's go to a baseball game. Now her husband, my husband, and her, all 3 worked at the same company at that time, and you never have one of those people where you just hit it off instantly. Well, that's what her and I did. We hit it off so well. We were so close. We still are close, even though they don't live near us anymore. We try to visit as much as we can. But her kids have grown up with my kids, and honestly, we have gone through pretty much all stages of life set in our 20s, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Those type of friendships, you just don't. And so they came out for my birthday, and they brought me the most delicious cookies. She had talked to me about it the last time we hung out, that they get from Disneyland, and they get them every time, and she's like, Desiree, they're like chocolate peanut butter cookies. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you had me at chocolate and peanut butter. And so they surprised me with those, and they were really delicious. Next, I'm working on my title. Now, I'm pointing to you on those Studio Calico because I didn't record this, but putting together my title, and I have the perfect shade of stickers, and it's those Studio Calico ones. And my title was going to be Celebrations, but then I realized that the word was so long that it was covering up the flower. So I ended up changing the title for Live in the Moment. And those Studio Calico stickers were going to be in for the words in the. Got everything put on the sheet right there. And I realized I don't have a T. And I'm like, not a big deal. I'm one of those type of people that when I buy letter stickers, I buy packages at least of 2. I couldn't find it anywhere, and I am searching all over my room, and I am notorious for finding a photo and going, okay, this is what I want to scrapbook, putting it in a plastic baggie with a whole bunch of things that will go along in that layout if I don't have time to do that layout, and then I stick it somewhere. So it could be anywhere in this room, but I swear I felt like it was like laughing at me going, ha ha ha, I see you, you can't see me. I'm not kidding you. I was like, oh my gosh, what iris container is it in? What Ziploc baggie could it be in? So instead of continuing to search, I just grabbed October Afternoons and called it good. So one thing I did notice with the Dear Lizzie, they had a ton of period stickers in the package, and whenever I have all those, I end up using them as enamel dots because I don't ever really have a period, like a sentence as a title. So I'm going to put that in a set of 3 and do, or 2 sets of 3. And then I just felt like there was something that was missing behind that bow. I wanted to add a little bit more layers, so I grabbed a sticker from the Maggie Holmes, and then that's going to complete my layout. I really hope you guys enjoyed this process video. Be sure to check out Heather's. It is absolutely stunning. It is so gorgeous when she showed it to me. I love it. So I will go ahead and link her channel below, and you all have an amazing night. Bye.